becomes another organization, I'm sure they were going to require that employees reapply. Because you have to make sure, by your standards, that they can do the job that you're hiring them for, that you're paying them for, and trusting them with your children.
We already
We've
trust
been
them with
doing
our
it
kids.
for almost 10 years. I've been doing it for 8
Sure,
years.
sure, and
So
you have.
So that's a slap in my face to
That's
tell
right.
me.
No, it's not.
That's to me, that's a slap in my face to tell me that everything that I've complied with, everything that we've had to with DCF or whatever else we've had to do.
And
So
without
you're
these
telling
people,
me
my kids
that
would
you
not
are-
be
slap
where
in
they
my
are.
face that I don't know what I'm doing.
That new Operation Cooper Street has required you to do. Now, this other organization may have different requirements that are different from Cooper Street.
Well, if
Just
they're
like
not-
Burger King may have different requirements than McDonald's. I'm gonna move on. The board's vision is for this to be a true community center. Now, what that means is being more than just a provider of programs to kids. That means being able to provide programs to the elderly, to people that are looking for jobs, to people that need help filing their taxes. A true hub where people in the community, if they need help, the first place they think to go is to Cooper Street so that they can get some direction, they can get some help. And from what I've heard in talking to you all over the past 14, 15 years, it seems like that's what this facility used to be, at least to a point. I don't know if you noticed, it's not truly that now. No. We are in, the whole country, it's not just Cooper Street, the whole country is in financial peril. It has just happened. Now, the fact of the matter is, whether Cooper Street becomes a Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, whatever, or is able to sustain itself, if the funding is not here, those doors will be locked and there will be no program. That is what this board walked into. Welcome to the board. We're about to close. That's what they walked into.
Hey, they don't see it, they're gonna hold it up till it falls off.
New Operation Cooper Street had to start charging fees for services. Not been done before. Didn't want to do it. The board didn't want to do it, not this board, whole board. Did not want to do it, but had to do it in order to keep the doors open because they saw that down the road, somewhere around June 27, 2012, 2013, we're going to be in serious trouble. So we need to generate some revenue, albeit very low cost, very low cost. And what happened? We ended up losing money because people took their children out because they didn't want to pay $50. The days of, here, give me money, give me money, give me money, they're gone. They're gone. It's not Cooper Street's problem or a fault, but it's a problem that we have to deal with. And we can address it, or we can close our eyes and let the doors close. And guess what happened, by the way, if the doors close? Some organization is going to come in here, like it or not. Okay? So that is what we're dealing with. It will happen if the funding ceases.
Excuse me. Didn't
At this
Ms.
time-
Caldwell ask you-
at this
Ms.
time-
Caldwell asked if
at this
you
time-
had-
At this time, I will take a few questions. If any of the members of the board, if you need a word or something, just let me know. I will take a few questions from the audience. Yes, ma'am.
In the beginning of this meeting, I believe that Ms. Caldwell asked for a year to show that Punta Gorda could get this thing together with the help, okay? When you listen to boys and girls
definitely agree with that, and we as a board are sitting in that same position. But I will tell you this center will not operate for a year at its current status. It will not operate for a year. By September 30th, this center will close. And those employees that we do have will be without a job. Now, if the option is for those employees to lose their job and this center be ran by volunteers, I'd love to see that happen. I think that's a great world. Yes, ma'am.
In reference to the employees of Cooper Street now, I think it is a hard slap in the face from the Boys and Girls Club to ask them to reapply. If it wasn't for Mr. Fred, Miss Barbara, Miss Kate, Miss Marie, Miss Platt, these are people that my children know. And by the Boys and Girls Club saying that, I feel like they're saying they weren't good enough to teach my kids from the beginning. And that's not okay.
Yeah.
That's not okay. They should not have to fight for their jobs.
Let me address that. I won't apologize for that because that's not what's being said. The Boys and Girls Club is not saying that at all. What the Boys and Girls Club is saying, what the Boys and Girls Club is saying is that in order for them to hire someone, that person must apply regardless of what facility that they are going into. It said nothing about the employees. We love our employees here. We love our employees here, and we're not saying anything about their credentials or anything. Now, we as the board feel confident that those employees will meet the Boys and Girls Club standards.
They meet the standards anyway.
Okay, my concern, we have an entity that's gonna come in, absorb our board, which is our constituents and our vote, absorb them to the point where they have little or no voice, no say-so as to what's going on, because they have their own board that's gonna dictate funding and whatnot. When the funding runs out and they decide, I'm going off of parents back here who have said that their track record is to move into a facility, and when it doesn't work out, they leave, and their children have been left stranded. So when that happens here, what is the exit strategy? Has the board thought of that? We won't have an identity because it'll be Boys and Girls Club. We won't have a board. So what is the exit strategy at that point? We're just gonna be left high and dry as a community?
Referring to the Boys and Girls Club proposal, the board members would become a part of that board. There would also be a community board established of volunteers, parents, community members for New Operation Cooper Street. So as part of that, the board, if let's say their funding ran out, by us being on the board, we would know that, and we would prepare for that. We would be doing what we're doing now.
Where would the Boys and Girls Club be in that? Because given their track history, it seems like that part has failed. They've gone from one facility to the next, and children have been left high and dry. So now they want to come into our facility, which we also take care of children and the community. So then we're going to have an entire community that's left without an identity, a voice, or a culture. We're going to have to start from ground one again.
Okay. All right, Mr. Wiley.
I hear you. I have listened, and you say that we were all informed. Well, I live across the street. I was not informed. Although I have, my family had committed to paying for children to be at the center. I commend the board for the work that you're doing, but I truly don't trust on what's being said here. Because I do think, whether you say you will be a part of the board, that Boys and Girls Club coming here, I do believe that you will be absorbed from the board. And I don't like that idea. after we found out that, after some of the rumors and all surfaced, and I asked the question of how many people at our meeting would be willing to come sit with this board so we can discuss issues of Cooper Street and see if we can develop a working partnership with this board to see what kind of conclusion we can come to help Cooper Street out. Because a lot of us, like you said, we were informed or not, we're not truly informed. Now, my kids have gone through this school. I don't have that representation of children, my children coming through here. I didn't know. The only reason we knew about the $50 because I came to one meeting and $50 was discussed, and we volunteered to pay for a student that was a friend of my grandchild, Regine. Her mother had no funding whatsoever, so we volunteered to do that. And I think that with cooperation with the group of people that had promised, had said that they would love to work with you and see about helping you, grant writing, or whatever anything that they need to be done, is willing to come forward and do that. But sometimes, you got to be sort of invited to do things. Now, I heard about all of this stuff through the grapevine. Pieces here, pieces there, and I started wondering, just what's going on here? I want to know, one of my questions, one of the questions I was asking, was what role did the previous board do to ward off what was happening? Was there red writers, and what did they do? Well, I was directly told that the old board, after a few period of years, actually did nothing. So my thing is, what role is the board playing in the operation of Cooper Street, other than my name is on the board, I'm a board member, blah, 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 blah. What's the role? What are you going to do? How are you going to involve some of the people that said to me, yes, I would love to be a part, to work with this board, to see what we can do to raise funds and to work to see if we can get it back better than what it was.
Okay, that is a very good question, and a question that I'm not going to get into what the old board did. That is not the purpose of this meeting. We are looking forward, and by virtue of this meeting tonight, this board will take all this information into consideration as we move forward.
I just want to say, I've been on the board for many years. I was director here for 16 years. So I feel the pain of this board. And my hat's off to you. What I feel that what happened, this great nurse has done a great job. She's built on We've talked to her. When I turned it over to her, she told me she would have 5 years. She was leaving. But because of the love of the 7 kids, she stayed some extra years than what she first said. So she's decided to leave. But you have a new board here, and I feel that you all had no choice. Do you think? It was thrown in your hands, director leaving. Century 21 monies is gone, which we kind of knew it was. So this board, the only thing you could do is look for someone that could keep the doors open, because this board was trying to keep the doors open. This is what I think of what's happening. So you was contacted by someone that gave you another opportunity to keep the doors open, which was the Boys and Girls Club. I think the Boys and Girls Club is an excellent organization. I was director. I worked with the Boys and Girls Club 2 or 3 times. I think under your regime and leadership has probably been the best that the Boys and Girls Club have been in this county, because it does not have a good track record. But you're doing a great job. But all we're saying, and I just a found for this board. You did what you had to do. You know, I would do the same thing. Maybe this time we'll learn that the community, we do have a community here. It was said, rumored that this community does not care because we're not volunteering. They say we don't care because we don't give any monies. This community is a working community. We don't have retirees in this community. Your retirees are in Port Charlotte. The northerners that comes in, those are the people that have ran this center for 20 years. So, in defense to this community do what it has to do, and it loves this center. This is all we have that we call our own from the culture of this Punta Gorda. No, you don't have any money, but what I'm hearing here is that if you give the community consensus with the director, this is not new to some of us. It's new to you, it's new to the board. Not having money. This is not new to us. We have been here, opened the doors, ran this center with no money, employees not being paid, but still working. That's the kind of place that this center can be, and it can be if you would like. It does not need money to start off, because you can get people that know how to run the center and to run it. If the money's not here, they'll work anyway. Until the money comes.
Okay, thank you for that. We're going to have a couple comments from a few of the board members first. Darryl Gaston.
No, I'm new to the community, but I'm glad to be part of this board. I've dedicated most of my life, my entire life, to either sports or children, or both, not only in the United States, but also outside of the United States. And seeing what I see right now is wonderful. You know, one of the things that when we were coming from the back, the board members, and I came out and I saw all of the people out here, President said it a while ago, you know, it's sorry that it took this to bring everybody out. But even though it did take this, this is the start of what is needed. If this is truly going to be a community center, then the community has to get involved. To be here tonight and go home tomorrow and talk about all the stuff that happened and don't come back, and don't participate, then you just killed your community, so don't blame it on the board. So now, if, we will still take into consideration everything that's being done right now. But nothing happens unless you allow it or become part of it to make it happen. So if you're gonna sit here and talk tonight, which is great, and go home tomorrow and do something else, then you wasting your time and everybody over here time.
That's right.
So if you're really behind the center, don't show it by your mouth, show it by doing something. Okay, so I needed to get up and say that, not only as a board member, but also as a person that loves kids. I volunteer all the time. I love that. I love giving back. So that's all we ask for. Give back. Pastor just brought it up. If you're gonna do something, then do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste ours.
I'm not going to piggyback on what Mr. Gaston said. I'm going to add to it. I'm going to bring you to a point of commitment. All we're talking about here is money, a lack of money. All of us together can produce the money. I've been talking to Pastor about a Cooper Street Day with all the churches and everybody in the community coming together. We like to carry that out. We like to do that, but we need all of your support. We'll set up a time and we'll set up a day when we all can come together. We can hear from some of the people that have come through Cooper Street. The reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I saw the impact that it made on my wife and on my children. So I'm vested, I'm all in. What about you? So we're gonna have a day where we can all come together and put some money down. Because rhetoric ain't gonna keep this door open. It's gonna take money. And so when we raise money, we'll soon find out it won't take much to raise a lot of money. And I applaud the Boys Club for coming and offering themselves to be a help. I'd like to keep them on the back burner for now, because I thought that their coming would have been a little premature until we saw what this community was going to do. Now, whether we got here late to the party or early, it don't matter. We're here now. So now that we see what it is, and it is what it is, it makes no sense blaming anybody. Asking, how did we get to this place? It makes no sense. We're here. Let's move forward. I'm with my president. Let's move forward. Let's move forward and pull some money out of our pockets and put that money together and put it in Cooper Street. Can we do that? What we will do is we will send out notifications to all the churches, posters, and whatever you think we need to do to let you know when that day will come. And on that day, if you're not there, make sure your money's there.
Okay, thank you. Okay. That being said, once again, I'd like to thank, first of all, the community for coming out here tonight. We really appreciate it. Very good sight to see. I hope to see this more in the future. I'd like to thank Ms. Callwood, Ms. Anna Callwood, for her presentation. I'd like to thank the Boys and Girls Club, Lynn Doran, for his presentation. and all you for participating. Now, as Mr. Gaston said, don't go home tonight, go to sleep, and then forget about Cooper Street. This board still has a very big decision to make. No decision has been made, but we have a very big decision to make, all right? You all are a very big part of that, okay? We need to hear from you, all right? I'm sorry, oh yes. Also like to thank Community TV 1 out of Lee County. Really appreciate it, and all the dignitaries that were here that we didn't mention, we appreciate your support, appreciate you being here. The parents, the people with the heart for Cooper Street, we thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.